and welcome to Blacktown International Sports Park for round 2 of the NAB League competition. Today we welcome the academy sides from interstate to the competition for the very first time. And to kick things off, we have the Sydney Swans and Tasmania Devils on the ground, kicking off in around 5 minutes' time. Matthew Cox in commentary with you this morning. Alongside me is Rick Morris and Phil Crooks. How are you, Rick?
Going great, Matthew. Looking forward to a big day, triple header. It's all happening here at Blacktown International, and getting a good understanding of these academy teams. Great to see.
Great to see Tasmania back in the competition full time. A little different to the other interstate sides, Phil.
Well, it is. I don't want to overstate it too early, boys, but I think we might be seeing the rebirth of Tasmania into the national competition, and we're going to be we were lucky enough to see the first game played, and the long-term plan is to get these boys are playing in the full NAB League season, and there'll be a team in the VFL in not too long, and hell, who knows, in 5 or 6 years' time, it could be the Sydney Swans playing the Tasmanian Devils at the SCG or Blundstone. So it should be good. Tasmania looking resplendent in that green Guernsey with the yellow map of Tasmania on the front. Don't get too many Guernseys with green in it, do you?
No, it's a unique Guernsey, I think would be a way of describing it, but very nice and good for the commentators. Nice big yellow numbers on the back as well. Sydney will be wearing a predominantly white jumper for their match today. We must thank our partners who help the NAB League with their great support. NAB naming rights and principal partner, Open Universities Australia, our education partner, Telstra, our digital partner, Puma, our apparel partner, Rookie Me, our testing partner, and the Bar Counter nutrition partner, all with the NAB League. We thank them for their ongoing support, and a reminder to make sure that you download the NAB League app for live champion data stats for all NAB League boys games, post-champion data stats for NAB League girls, live streaming of all boys games, commentary for selected games, which today is the triple header here at Blacktown International Sports Park. So make sure you download that and use the hashtag NABLeagueBoys as we take a look at the Sydney side, Rick.
Yeah, we're looking at a few players to look out for. Luke Parks down in defence, part of the 2019 Allies, will be one to watch. Also Sam Thorne, who's a competitive type. We've got inside strong mids in Jackson Barlow, who again is part of the Allies Academy. Good left foot of Nicholas Brewer, who might start off on the wing and push back, but he's got a tidy left foot. And also Joshua Rayner, who's been part of the AFL Academy since 2017 and still part of the 2019 group.
As the players begin to form into position here at Blacktown International Sports Park, Sydney Swans side, for the very first time in the under-18 competition, a part of the Academy series that runs from round 2 through to round 6. As we take now a look at the Tasmania side, Phil.
And the top weight, Mitchell O'Neill, number 1, high possession winner, likes to play on the wing, and going to be doing a bit of inside mid work this year. Number 4 is William Pepin, who has a strong combination of speed and endurance. Number 7, Matty McGuinness. I watched him in the warm-up, looked pretty electric. Also a couple of bottom ages, Jackson Callow and Sam Collins, to have a look at as the players start to take formation. A little bit of niggle up inside 50, which we like to see. A little bit of aggression. Round 2 action. NAB League, take it away, Rick.
Umpire holds the ball up, ready to start. Bit of jostling early in the piece, good to see. And up they go, and tap forward for the Devils, but a pack's formed straight away, and we've only gained 5 metres, and underneath that was O'Neill. I'll ball it up quickly and work it forward again. Sharked away by Clifford, gets it down towards half forward. Marking attempt spoil. That little soccer was fortunate, and it's ended up with the Swans who'll drive it towards the centre, and a nice take out in front to Swanee. He'll go wide. He's got a man in McKellar. The ball was spoiled. Good work. They've got numbers, but the Swans are backing up here, and Campbell drives it into the middle. They pick it up and run it out of there through Watling, down towards full forward. Tassie in the van. Bit of a wet surface there. Just allowed the Swans in for a moment. We've got a snap-on goal around the corner, but touched on the line through from behind to start the scoring off, with the Swans taking the lead, 1 point.
Errol Goulden kicking that behind, part of the AFL Academy list for level 1 under 17s.
Matty McGuinness to bring the ball back in for the Devils. The left footer. Loping kick into the middle. Oh, strong hands. Given off straight away. O'Neill gets it to centre wing, right in front of the grandstand. Mark taken here by Clifford. He kicks to the top of the 50. They're in front, punched front and square, looking for some crummers. They get it back to Davis. Davis puts it up. Loose ball inside 50. Bit of a chaos footy. Swans trying to defend. Nice pick up there by Van Husted. He goes out wide. You can see the ball skidding. It's a wet track. Lovely one-arm pick up there. Long loping kick. Bit of manhandling. No free kick, says the umpire. Thinks about kicking it off the carpet. Ball goes to ground. Nice flicking handball from Maguire. Goes back. They centre it. They need a mark. Could have been a push there. Play on, says the umpire. Tasmania to defend. They get it out wide. Taken by hand. It's back to Chaplin. Chaplin to centre wing. Can't hit a target. Close to the boundary line and out of bounds. Centre wing, freeway side.
It is a bit, isn't it? It's quite busy over there. Just a couple of things to note there. Tassie getting their hands on the footy quite a bit. Just rushed a couple of kicks to a contest where they had men out the back. Swans paddling it forward towards half forward. They allow play on. Now it's back towards half forward again, Spoil. They'll try and kick out of trouble here through Walker, Tasmania. We're back into the centre square, a 2 against 1, and they'll get it out to Clifford, who's been busy. Taps it forward, couldn't quite get clean possession. Again, it's a slippery surface, and the Swans got back and helped out beautifully there and get it forward towards half forward. They've got numbers. They can raffle it here. That was a kick through Swanee. No 15. Play on's a call. A kick from Parks down to full forward. Oh, a Spoil allows the Swans in, but the kick went out of bounds on the fall.
Could have marked it, Rick.
Should have been a mark. Not enough talk there.
And while we're waiting for the ball to be retrieved, we should make mention of the conditions here at Blacktown International Sports Park this morning. We've had a bit of rain. The surface is very slippery. There's a few puddles, especially around half forward and along the boundary line.
Collins brings the ball back in for Tassie. Had a few to beat there. There was Chaplin, kicks it off the carpet. We're inside the centre square. Clifford comes through hard, kicks it long, low, hard, inside 50. Tassie first to it. They try to work it forward, just slips off the boot. Now they can do a searching kick through Davis. We're inside 50, stacks on the mill. Umpire will have no choice. He'll throw this up. We're 30 metres out from Tasmania's goal, and they're kicking to the western end of the ground. Left of your screen. Ball in dispute. Now it comes out to O'Neill. It's a snap, comes off the side of the boot. You couldn't kick that far back over your shoulder if you tried. Thought it was going for goal. That's out of bounds. We are 45 metres around from the Devils' goal.
Fairly even in terms of the disposals from the first 5 minutes of play. 23 to the Devils, 19 to the Swans. Inside 50s, 5 to the Devils, 3 to the Swans.
They'll take it away here, the Swans, but it's been a quick intercept and a nice take that time through Gadomski, who gets it towards centre half forward. They've got a runner, but just can't get it out. Over the top it goes. Swans with numbers, paddling it out of there. They'll kick it towards 50. A little handout clears it momentarily. Good work by the Tassie Devils to press up. Just held them up for the moment. Now, outer side. They drive it off. Beautiful pickup. Gadomski. They'll work it out of there. Down towards the back line. and Godomsky gets it and kicks towards half-back. That was tapped down to the front, cleverly done. Swans drive it forward. Tassie everywhere here, and that'll be cleared by Davis. The umpire lets them go through the middle of the ground, and they'll spear it in there. Play-on's a call. Players coming from all directions. Swans with the clear. Back inside 50 it goes. Playing in front, Tassie.
Oh.
The umpire lets it go, and we'll have a ball up. About 45 out from goal.
Sydney just the behind. Tassie yet to score. 6 minutes into the first quarter. Tasmania clear the defence. Could come straight back in. Wrapped up in a tackle. Ball's loose. Need to feed it out the back to get forward. Good work. Now they've got some space to work in. It's 1-on-1. Off the carpet. And kicking in danger. With the Devils to take the free kick on half-back. Kicks in short. Mark dropped what should have been taken. Handball goes over to Swanee. His kick smothered. Desperate defence. Boys just need to take a breath and settle a little bit here. Oh, nice attempt of defensive mark. Tasmania through Burrows Chang. They go out wide. Banks Smith. Oh, in the slop. And lucky it's not muddy. Those Swans Guernseys could dirty up something shocking, I think.
We'd hate to be washing them during the week.
Not in the old days like it is now. Ball to be thrown in. Just right of centre wing. Ball comes up to Pepin. Can't get it. Going to be caught. Comes out. It's going to be a slippery cake of soap, this footy. That might have been a throw, not paid, and the ball goes over the boundary line, out of bounds.
I think the best way to describe the footy at the moment is frantic. Both sides wanting to attack, but just making poor decisions when they're going forward, not spotting up a target. As you said, Phil, I think they just need to take a break for a few minutes, a few deep breaths to get a bit of composure in the game.
Now the Swans work it inside 50, and they'll have it a little kick on into a troubled area there, but they got away with it, the Devils, and it'll end up with McGuinness, and he'll switch play to the outer side of the ground. Taken out there by Collins, and he'll go wide, very wide out there. Good tackling, Swans pressuring well. Eventually they'll get it out, that time through Menzies, and get it towards centre wing. No clear winner here. Outer side wing. Sydney with numbers. Get it out through Van Huisted. He gets it back. They run around in circles here and go back about 50 metres, but it ends up with Van Huisted. He gets it down towards centre wing again where they came from. And now we've got a big pile up, and the umpire will come in and ball it up.
Leading stats getter on the ground at the moment is Lachlan Swanee. 6 disposals, 5 kicks, 1 handball so far.
We're in the ruck. Ball comes out. That's not me. I think that's a couple of magpies have taken a liking to the effects, Mike. As the Swans go forward on half forward. Again, good defence by Tasmania. Solid punch over the boundary line, out of bounds on the freeway side of Blacktown International Sports Park. Beautiful precinct of sport out in the west. Up they go. Tapped over the back by Chaplin. Taken off the ball. Again, the ball will be thrown up. We haven't moved too far. 10 minutes into this first quarter. No goals as yet. Ball thrown. Tap out by Thorne. Swans. Oh, runs into a bit of traffic there. And again, it will be a ball up.
Well, no, not officiating umpires indicated a high tackle, free kick going the way of the Swans.
This is Golden. Errol wearing the famous number 23. Left footer as well. He kicks into the pocket. The big men fly. 2 bites of the cherry. Not paid. Umpire had a good view.
Yes, they're holding up well, the Tasmania defence. They've had quite a few forward 50 entries, Sydney.
Yeah, 11.
They're really standing up at the moment. So
6 in front of the Tassie Devils. They've only had 5 inside 50s for the term. So Swans have dominated the last 5 minutes, but again, just can't get that target inside attacking 50 to take a mark.
So we've got Nash up against Chaplin. Chaplin with a nice slap down towards the boundary side. Can't quite break away. We're on 50. We've got a heap of players onto that one. The umpire lets it go, expecting the ball to just slip out of there, but eventually it went out of bounds, and we've got to throw in 55 out from Sydney's goal.
Tassie currently dominating the hit-outs too, 7-4 in this opening term.
Chaplin whacks it away again, does well. Oh, they got balled over like 9 pins then, but eventually it ends up with the Swans, and they kick it out of bounds. Hope we're not going to see another repeat of last week, Matthew, where it was out of bounds for a fair bit of the game, wasn't it, at the other side. So we've got McGuinness, Matt McGuinness, who's a 19-year-old, and nice foot on him, left footer. Kicks down towards the outer wing, brought to ground, Chaplin had it, out of bounds it goes.
I'll see if I can break it up for you, Rick. I'll get it out for you. Centre wing, between wing and half back on the outer side of the ground. Boundary umpire sets, hurls it back in. Chaplin gets front position. Might have been tackled high. Good call, umpire. Free kick to Tasmania. And that was to Burrows Cheng. By hand, now by foot. Spots up a man. 2 bites of the cherry. That's Tyler McGuinness. McGuinness kicks to the edge of 50. Got 2 to beat. Swans at the fall of the ball. Kicks into some dangerous territory, but the mark's taken there by Kyle McKellar. Oh, dodgy old kick. Lucks of fortune. Swans can clear. They kick to centre wing, and this is Swanee getting plenty of the footy. He waltzes through the centre square. Goes to the opposite side. Trying to get a hand on it is Casalini. His handball is astray. Tasmania. Clifford straight through, clean bowled. Swans. Short kick, too long, and it is over the boundary line and out of bounds just in front of the Tasmania interchange bench. Centre wing. Good little crowd in the grandstand. Good viewing ground for the parents and friends that have made the trip. Up they go. Double fisted from Nicholas Baker. Swans together. Good hands out the back. It's going to be kicked forward by Casalini, and nice mark. Solid. Baxter, wearing a famous Swans number 14. Kicks inside 50. Strong hands. Could have been interfered with. Play on, says the umpire. Godomski does the old give and get. Now the long raking kick needs to come over the back. Double fist punch out. Swans. Oh, might have been caught high. And the kick will be taken. Play on, advantage. Goes forward through Geddes. Gets the half volley, can't take it. Wrapped up underneath. Dragged it back underneath him. Needs to be careful. Umpire looks and says, no, I'll ball it up. Half forward flank. Swans and Rick.
Ball up, and there was a bit of a falcon in amongst that, but it's taken by Barling, who works at the centre half forward. We're on 50 through Campbell, shoots towards goal, and just shaded the post, just off. Yeah, it did touch the post, and so that's a behind, but definitely one of the Open University's plays of the day, that one. Great work by Sydney, who are starting to get their hands on the footy. And good delivery through Watling over to Barling. He'll work it again to 50.
Oh, good
Off
play.
the burst. Here we go. From 45 metres out, Goulden with the left. Slams it through for the first goal of the match. 1-2-8. and Tasmania yet to score. Great burst by Goulden, who read it beautifully and delivered the goods.
Lightly framed, 173 centimetres, 72 kilos. Comes from the Marlborough Saints.
Mighty Marlborough Saints.
And is part of the AFL Academy list level 1, which is for the 17-year-olds.
Callum Nash in the ruck for Sydney, and Oliver Davis. No, not Oliver Davis. No, that is Nick Baker for Tasmania. Now we can get it clear. Eventually hacked forward by the Swans. It comes over the back. Tasmania under a bit of pressure, a bit hard to pick up. Gets it across to Shaw. He's in a bit of trouble and he puts it over the touchline for a try. Boundary throw in right in front of the I Love Blacktown sign in the forward pocket. Ball to be thrown in. Up she goes. Swans trying to force a ball towards an open goal. They've got the hands. Kick smothered. Oh, Lux of Fortune. Oh, bit of Ronaldinho there. Couldn't get it out of bounds on the full. Tasmania to bring the ball back in. It's kicked across goal. This is Sam Collins. Short kick by Walker. They work their way around the outside of the ground. Now they go up the middle. Doesn't hit the target. They need to be clean. Davis getting it across to Stevenson. They clear it. More by hard work. Might have disposed of it. No free kick. Swans swoop. Now it gets on to Luke Parks. He kicks to half forward, but he will be repelled. Tasmania on half back. He finds Matty McGuinness inside the centre square. They want to switch play. Long, raking left foot kick. Beats all comers. Comes over the back. Handballed and no one in particular. Dispossessed. Swans trying to get it out. You're going to try and get it off the carpet. Caught underneath him. Stacks on the middle. Umpire looks and will ball it up right in front of the commentary positioning cameras. Centre wing, Blacktown. Take it away, Rick.
Tapped away nicely, but kicked out that time through Goulden again. Getting it forward. McGuinness doing plenty down there at half back. Gets it towards centre wing, but out of bounds it goes. Got a raking left foot, hasn't he? McGuinness.
He does. Been prominent.
Lean, but nice type.
Had 5 disposals so far, and they're all kicks.
194 centimetres. Good size of a footballer, Matty McGuinness. So it's brought out of front. Grabbed out of the ruck by Baker. He gets tackled as he had it. Picked up by Davis. He gives off the hand. They've worked backwards. This is trouble. They got numbers, Tasmania. Now they haven't because the Swans have surrounded them. A nest of Swans, and out of bounds it goes. And we're just inside 50, where most of the attacking's been.
Yeah, 16 inside 50s to the Swans this term, just the 5 for the Tassie Devils.
Not too hurt on the scoreboard yet. Down it goes. Just a bit of tapping and pushing. Eventually, they've tried to work it out of there, Tasmania, and they've done it well with a kick out of trouble. That was through Clifford. Gets it towards the centre. Swans will mop up through Parks. And quick kick to a contest out at centre wing. That was a push out. Umpire let it go. And he went without it. Now they've got numbers here, the Swans. Paddled across through Barling over to Thorne. I think we're going to see a fair bit of that. So Thorne's going to decide to pump it long. Over the back it goes, but there's an infringement. And it's going to go the way of the Sydney Swans Academy. And did you see that, Crooksy?
No, look, I was looking hard, Rick, but I couldn't quite pick that one up.
I was watching contest
I'll watch it on the replay. I'll see if I can pick it up on that.
So it's in the hands of Shielher. And he's going to kick from 40 metres out.
185 centimetres and 82 kilos.
Some strongly built Swans out there today. So Sheila kicks low and straight.
Nice.
Through the middle. So that's their second. Sydney Swans 2-2-14 to Tasmania, yet to score.
And they're just starting to capitalise on the great advantage they have going inside, attacking 50 at the moment, 17-5. Flip side of the coin for the Devils, they're leading the hit-outs 15-5. So they're getting first touch of the footy, but they're not really using it. And the Swans seem to have players always on the outside ready to go. They're able to get the quick handball away to get them moving forward. Devils just need to be a little more accountable.
In the shadows of quarter time, just get the feeling the Devils could just do with a goal just to settle them all down. A lot of the game being played forward of half forward, but they're in the contest. All right, Burrows, Cheng gets it out. Pepin goes up forward, O'Neill. Beautiful mark, low to the ground. Needs to spot a target up. He goes over the back. A little bit of interference there. Tackled. Pepin gets it. Tries to dance away. He's collared. Swans to clear. Nice kick out by Castellini to the outer half-back flank. Devils to send it back from where it came. Long searching kick. Oh, the big men fly. Couldn't take it. Over the boundary line, out of bounds. Forward pocket, about 35 metres around from Tasmania's goal. With 2.5 minutes to the siren. They would dearly love one, just to put a bit of value on their effort for the quarter. They went up by themselves. Tasmania, wheel around, kick to the top of the square. Now the runner's on. Ball still in dispute. Swans should have this covered. It's a long clearing kick to centre wing. Ball bouncing and the boundary line will win. Right in front of us here. Bang on centre wing in front of the grandstand. Boundary umpire to come in and throw this in. We've got Sam Gaydon, the big number 40. And he's going to be up against Nick Baker from Tasmania. Gaydon gets, no one gets to the ball in the end. Gaydon picks it up. Swans feed it out back. McKellar. They get it forward, goes to a pack. Handball looking for the boundary line. They kept it in. Might have gone out. That is probably an error in judgment. And taking the mark is Errol Golden, who has passed it off straight away. And the kick for goal will be Aidan Watling. I think the ball might have been out anyway, just to be honest.
Pretty close to being out, that one.
I'm sure Adrian Fletcher will just have a quiet word, just to maybe kill the ball in the pocket with a minute to go to quarter time. And we've got Aidan Watling having a shot from goal. He's going to kick it from 27 metres out, directly in front. He comes in, he kicks.
Ooh.
Scrubby old kick and misses the target. Out of bounds on the full. Bit of a let-off for the Devils. And Tasmania to bring the ball back in.
They'll work it to the back pocket. Probably not enough time, you'd think, to score, but they'll get it down towards half-back. But an intercept, chance for Sydney. Couldn't quite hang on to it. That was Maguire, Harry Maguire. And they're around that 50 mark where a fair bit of the play has been today. Quickly ball it up. Got crunched there. Kick out by Thorne. Up they go, out towards the boundary and it'll be out of bounds. Clock ticking over. And that is quarter time here at Blacktown International Oval, where the Sydney Swans 2-2-14 are leading Tasmania, no score. And did you notice any of the better players there getting involved there, Matthew?
Yeah, well, just having a look at the leading stats getters on the ground, as we see that Goulden and Shetter have kicked a goal apiece for the Swans. in the opening term. They're our only goal kickers so far. 8 disposals for Collins for the Tassie Devils. It's their leading disposal getter, whilst for the Swans, Goulden currently leads with 11 touches, 10 kicks, 1 handball. It's not what we're used to seeing in modern footy. It's usually the other way around. Yeah. So nice to see a traditional footballer out on the park for the Sydney Swans Academy side. And just having a look at some of the other stats for the Swans, McKellar racked up 3 tackles, as did Thorne in that opening term of play. All up, 24 tackles to 22, so largely even across the ground, even spread there for the Tassie Devils. Hit-outs 15 to 8 in that term, going the way of the Devils. But the inside 50s, as we made mention, 18 to 8 in favour of the Swans in that opening term of footy here at Blacktown International Sports Park. Score 2-2-14, the Sydney Swans. No score, the Tassie Devils. We might take a break here in this coverage of round 2 of the NAB League, which you can stream live through the NAB League app. Download in the App Store or via Google Play. Welcome back to Blacktown International Sports Park as we head down boundary side now for Siobhan.
Just a quick conditions and injury update. There are no injuries. Both sides are on a clean bill of health, even though the ground is very wet, especially along the wings. The rain is starting to spit down on the ground a little bit, so expect some wet weather footy in the last 3 quarters.
Thank you very much to Siobhan down boundary side here at Blacktown International Sports Park as we see the sun starting to peer through the clouds. A bit of wet weather we had this morning.
Who will we be leaving, you or Siobhan there, Matty?
I'll go Siobhan, she's down on the ground.
Well, I'm looking at the app now. I think, well, we're a bit lost. We definitely have the white shorts on, don't we, today? So I'm not going to become a weather expert in Sydney, but I think all the bad weather's going the other direction, going out of our way, so we should be right. Hopefully we're joined by Craig Notman from Tasmania during this quarter, just to give us the lowdown on how it's going down there. Crossing
from the Oakley Chargers, where he spent think 4 years all up as the talent manager down there.
With some success.
Just a little bit. They had 11 drafted last year, the Oakley Chargers, so he oversaw that program. Now the football manager of Tasmania, so he's not only looking after the under-18 side, but all of the pathway talent coming through as they prepare to re-enter the VFL in 2 years' time. 2021, they have a provisional licence for at the moment. And the under-18 girls will also be participating full-time next season in the NAB League girls competition. So Tassie footy back on track.
Back in the middle, up they go, and no clear winner. Crashing through the pack there. Good work by Baker, but he couldn't get through. Back in the middle, we'll have a secondary bounce or throw it, ball up. Tap to the middle of the ground again. They go without it. McCullough picks it up and drives it to full forward. Up they go. Oh, big grab. The umpire didn't quite hang on to it, they said. Eventually, we'll have a ball up. Thought he had a fair bit of that.
He did, Rick.
Quick ball up. We're 20 metres out. Kicked away hurriedly by Collins out of side. Still at half back. Swans forward, trying to hold them up. They paddle it out there. They've still got numbers here, the Swans through Nash, and they'll work it back to centre wing. Partial smothered, allowed the Devils in. McCullough gives it off. Now they'll work it through Campbell across the ground. Just needs to sit up, and good ball gathering there. Nice work by Doll, who gets it towards half forward. Big fist, finds Thorne, who bursts towards goal through for behind. Like the look of Sam Thorne so far, getting involved and strong build.
Now we're joined up in the combox, Rick, by an old mate of ours, Craig Notman. How are you, Craig?
I'm good, thanks guys. Thanks for having me.
Now, the last time I saw you were at the back of the press boxes up at Icon Park on Grand Final Day, and you were telling us how you were coming down to Tassie, but I would have taken any old odds that would be sitting next to each other in a combox in the western part of Sydney.
No,
it's good, isn't it?
It's been about 6 months now that we've been in Tassie. It seems not long ago, but it's a long time removed from there.
Goal to the Sydney Swans, and that is to Errol Golden, who's getting amongst the goals already. That's his second.
Nice little snap really, and an Open University Player of the Week that was. We'll just see that replay, a little snap around the corner. Oh, they do it so easy that nowadays, you round the corner.
And a bit of a celebration
gave
too.
A bit of a Swans flap as well.
Bit of a Swans flap of the wings, dipping the lids. We'll have to see what the Devils one is when they do it. Now, what's your official title down there, Craig?
My role is a football manager. So
football manager?
The Devils program, yeah. So the 18s program, and looking forward to a VFL side in 2021. So we're working towards that with the boys at the moment, and with an eye on the future too.
Where do you call home? Where's home base for you down there?
I'm in Launceston, so centrally located, but spending a fair bit of time down south in Hobart, and then some time on the road up on the northwest coast. So our group, essentially this game or this trip is probably only the third time that we've actually had our full contingent together since the beginning of pre-season. So rolling with 3 training hubs, one in Hobart, one in Lonnie, and one at Ulverston. It's a bit of a different scenario than what I've been used to, 3 nights a week with the boys all together at Oakley, but it's a good challenge.
So when Pardo or Peter Francis used to win, from the Gippsland Power or the Rebels, we've got blokes up here, we've got blokes down there, we get them together once a week type of thing, you're starting to feel their pain.
Oh, look, I first started my working life with the Murray Bushrangers, so...
you know what it's like?
Yeah, it's not a real big issue. I think for us, it is a challenge, but what you want to do is turn that challenge into something that works in your favour. So we're going to make the most of these times when the boys come together, and the more and more we get together, the better we're going to be as things progress.
Is there a bulk of them in Hobart, or where are most stationed?
So at the moment, we've got probably the bulk of our group coming out of the south, but that all cycles through. So in our younger age groups coming through, I think there's going to be a bigger component coming out of the north and the northwest coast. So just speaking to Matthew Armstrong, I think when the Tassie sides are at their strongest, it tends to have a 50-50 split between the north and the south, which that's where we're aiming to, and the program we've got in place, the resources that we've got now are working towards that. So making sure we've got real parity in each of the three regions.
Any of the boys in remote areas or far west, Burnie or?
No, Burnie. We've got a boy from Circular Head or Smithton, so that's probably the furthest point. So you know, he can be travelling an hour and a half or more to training one way. So yeah, the old distance factor is a big one.
Mitch O'Neill was just streaming into goal there and crunched. What's Mitch O'Neill just had the footy then. What's a week look like for Mitch O'Neill? He's obviously someone that's on the radar draft-wise.
Yep.
So what's a week look like for him? Where does he live? How often does he train? Who does he train with? That kind of stuff.
Yeah, so he's a Hobart boy. So our pre-season from November has been that the boys will train on field Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And we'll have some weight sessions in the morning on Tuesday and Thursday. Now, that reverts a little bit once we've gone in season. The boys will train with our group in a field sense on a Monday and Wednesday night. We're encouraging our boys to remain connected with their local clubs, so we give them the opportunity to train with their local clubs on a Thursday night. We'll also do a session on a Friday with each of our games. So we'll travel, train on the Friday, and the funny part is we'll actually have some games in Tassie where the opposition side will be travelling less distance to get to a home game. So the boys will all train together on the Friday, and they'll still do their weight sessions on the off day. So they've got a pretty full book in terms of what they're doing and what we're asking of them.
So, you know, the news out of Tassie over the last couple of years has been all bad news, really. So is this the shot in the arm they needed to get Tassie happening as a football state?
Absolutely. I think the opportunity for the boys to be playing, week in, week out in a competition such as this is something that's really, really positive. And it's something that younger kids coming through. The boys in the program now, but the younger kids can aspire to. So I think that's really important that they essentially get to compare apples with apples against a competition that annually rolls out over 60% of the draft population.
Well, as it progresses, Craig, just from my point of view, tell them never change that jumper. That is a cracking football jumper. It's an iconic footy jumper. For those old enough, like Rick and I, to remember Tassie when they were playing the Big V, and I think they won a game down there at North Hobart Oval. It's a great jumper. There's no other Guernseys with green in them, and with the it is just iconic. It's iconic.
It's interesting you say that because we went through a fairly lengthy sort of process in terms of what jumper we will wear, and involved a lot of Tassie football people. The likes of Chris Fagan, the Rewalts, those types. And I think the underlying sort of message that we continued to get is that you've got to play in the map. And what we also wanted to do is look at a jumper that will remain iconic, that stands the test of time, and that jumper certainly does it. And I think there's a fair bit of pride when the boys pull on the map jumper that they're representing a state.
It's like the big, it's not the Big V. It's like the Big V. You put it on, your chest bursts out. I think it just looks fantastic, and it's good thing. We'll make sure we'll vote for it to keep it.
Is there an alternative jumper with a devil or?
Yeah, we have got a white strip that the guys unveiled last week. It was on the front page of the Mercury. Got some really, really good coverage. But again, I think talking to the boys, they're really, really keen to roll out the map jumper as many times as they can.
And of course, this will be good. There'll be plenty of folk, family and friends of the players today back in Tasmania that obviously can't get up to Sydney to see their team. They can watch it all live through the app or on Facebook.
I think it's fantastic. I think for me, watching my old mob last weekend on your coverage too, it was great. Just to be able to switch it on, a really, really good coverage. I think it's a great a great opportunity for the competition as a whole to see what we can do and to further expand it. And I think for us, being on the road, I think it gives a great opportunity for Tassie people, not just parents and friends. It's the wider footy community.
It's the football community. You want to see
their kids roll around on a national stage.
What this trip for this match today? So you could tell me. I don't know. Have the boys been away to play interstate to play footy before? What about the coordination? There's.
Oh, look, the boys have travelled a fair bit with the old academy series, so they've got it down pat. We fly a group out of Hobart, a group out of the north, and had a few disruptions yesterday with the airport being shut down in Sydney for a little while.
Tell me about it, Craig.
Hobart group ended up in Canberra for a little while, and our Lonnie group, I think, just flew circles around the sky for quite a period of time. So, no, but look, it's just second nature for the boys in terms of their travel. So they're quite used to it, and they react to it quite well. Just not getting the runs on the board at the moment, so we're hoping that they can pick things up a little bit.
Swans doing the attacking at the minute, 3-5-23. The Tassie boys playing well, but they just haven't got on the scoreboard yet, so just maybe decision making. They're getting the ball down there a bit. But,
I think we're falling down half forward a little bit at the moment.
Yeah.
Sort of, we've had enough of the ball. They've just capitalised when they've gone forward a bit. I think our clearance work was a little bit down in terms of the Swans probably being a touch harder at it with it.
Look a bit stronger bodied as well, the Swans.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I mean, it's funny.
Unless it's
conditions-wise, I don't think we've handled conditions at all all that well. And coming from Tassie, you think that the boys would have experienced some wet weather conditions. But to be honest, over the course of pre-season, I don't think we've had any nights where we've trained in the rain. So
now that's what you love to see. Sydney Swans Academy boy Sheila there. Sheetha, is it?
Yeah, it was a typo.
Sheetha, great smother on the boundary line. And they're attacking about 35 out from goal at the moment, the Swans. They'll have a shot on goal around the corner, just curled it too far. That was Watling, who's been busy through both quarters so far. Through from behind.
All right, players that we should have on our radar going forward.
I think you've, with Mitch O'Neill, you've hit the nail on the head there straight away. I think Mitch is a great little player. You would have seen him play quite a bit through the Academy Series last year. I think he played a very, very serviceable game in the under-17 game grand final day at the MCG. So he's a quality little player, highly skilled, great attack on the ball. I think he shapes as one of our best prospects for the year. I think
young bloke then, Pepin, who had the footy.
Yeah, Pep. He'll play at the moment a majority of his time forward, but again, a boy that's is highly skilled. He's got a great leap, got a good set of hands. I think Nick Baker, one of our 19-year-olds who's returning this year, has been a little bit quiet today, but his pre-season form has been actually quite good. Matt McGuinness, again, another 19-year-old, he's found a little bit of it today, but his pre-season has been really, really good, and I think one of the exciting parts for us is a good crop of under-17s coming through, the likes of Callow, Collins, Walker and the like. I think of showing some really good signs.
Probably not the best of days for Jackson Callow. He likes to take a good grab, so not as easy, but you'd be pleased with McGuinness's game so far today. What was the thoughts behind him coming back as a 19-year-old?
Oh, I think just, look, to be honest, a lot of the boys, a lack of exposure for a few of the boys. Matt is quite lightly built type boy as well.
Yeah.
So just giving that little bit of extra time, I think is key. It's very hard for the boys to really show their wares in a 4 or 5 games abbreviated season. So the ability to have them in for an 18-week season, that's actually going to give them a real good ability to show what they can do, and again have the ability to compare themselves with the rest of the draft crop in that in the NAB league.
I think that's always it's always the way that there's been plenty of great players drafted into the AFL through Bendigo. The Knights haven't had a lot of success lately, but the Richmond Premiership team was full of Northern Knights, Castagna, so forth, Caddy, all those sort of guys. So the team doesn't have to actually have success on the ladder. It's the development of the players in.
And it's not our first call of Tasmania either, Crooksy.
Yes.
We did call Tasmania down at Preston there a few years ago.
About 5 years ago.
I think young Lovell for Hawthorn got recruited by Hawthorn.
Yep, Vaughan.
Tasmania, and there was a few caught our eye and probably could have been more closely looked at if they had been playing more often.
I think that's the thing, and this group too are going to get better and better as we go. Just chatting to a few of the guys, one of the hard parts for us is that our practice match.
I think we got one. Craig.
I'm happy with that. That's all we needed to get things going.
Nick Baker kicks the first for Tasmania. And looks like a few parents have come over as well.
Absolutely, yeah. It was good to look up into the crowd today and have a number of parents making the journey. They've been really keen to support the boys and making some forward plans for the remainder of the games where we travel. So that's really exciting. It's great to have them behind us.
Nice work by Callow on the goal line there too. Just
that nice little nudge out.
Just a little shepherd to keep. So they're on the board, the Mighty Devils. It is 1 goal straight, 6-3-7-25, and we are 15 minutes into this second quarter.
And it's slapped down early. McKellar, who's been pretty good, he dribbles it towards the full forward area. Good little stop there by the Devils, just held up that handball, but it's in a dangerous spot. Kick off the ground, just offline. So they were quick to answer there, the Sydney Swans. The Academy, and Tasmania will play on from full back. Chaplin's the target. Over the back it goes, juggling mark.
Strong hand.
And a nice take by Maguire. Harry will kick. He's 65 out. He chips it inboard. Bit of a kick in hope, really. And we've got a clearance here. 3 against 1. Swans should be able to make something of this through Maguire again. Gets it forward. McKellar picked it up, gets it out, Parks is his target, missed it. They just seem to have the numbers at the moment through Swanee. They're back in the middle. Be taken, Martin goes wide, and Yulton is at centre wing, just chips it over. Dangerous kick.
Here we go.
On the run here, and it'll be kicked through the middle that time through Bank Smith.
Now we've got McGuinness. Tasmania got some numbers here. If they can just get the ball out, they work it back to McGuinness, who kicks long, over the back, just off hands, behind. Starting to pepper the goals, 1-1-7, 3-8-26. Swans bring the ball back in to half back. Again, Tasmania with the numbers. And finds the safety of the boundary line. Adrian Fletcher is the coach. Good get?
Yeah, he's been great. So I think a passionate man, a Tasmanian coming home who wants to see the program succeed. And I think he's seen where Tassie footy's been and where he wants it to get to. So someone that's really bought in and really engaged with his coaching group to make sure we get things heading the right direction.
What's his style? Is he a hot gospeler or is he a quiet nurturer?
I think he's a bit of a combination of both. I think
he can fire up if he has to.
He certainly can do that. But I think the one thing is he's a passionate sort of guy that, as I said, wants to see the kids get the best out of themselves and see the program thrive.
A little bit of knee burn on the synthetic grass in the last couple of minutes. Sliding over the boundary line. It is starting to dry up a touch around that boundary, but skills are improving throughout the game. And now they'll get it through McGuinness on the left. Goes down towards half forward. Good spoil. We've got numbers here if they can pop it over, and they do. But this will be intercepted.
You've got to hold it.
Spoil at the critical moment. Here's a chance. Great tackle.
Pepin.
Great tackle, and we've got a goal through Pepin, but the umpire
50 metres.
has said 50. I got a bit excited there, but
worth a try.
Great tackle. Did we catch the tackler there?
wasn't
He'll be
Higgins.
rewarded anyway. And that's the sort of
Tyson,
endeavour.
I think. Tommy Tyson.
Tommy Tyson.
Tenacious Tommy Tyson.
So he'll kick into the middle. Didn't quite hit up the target, but Watling will kick towards centre half back. And that is McGuinness with the swap in Guernseys, I think. And we've got Baker keeping it wide. No, there's McGuinness. And we might have to get you onto that one.
Stevenson was the guy that got it to Baker in the middle, mate.
Who was?
It was Cohen Stevenson,
Stevenson.
number 41.
Oh, 41. I'm getting my ones mixed up with my sevens on your Guernseys there. There it is. Now it's just in front of us here in the commentary. Oh, good clash of bodies. Great work. There's Stevenson again getting into it. Tassie with the clearance, but a save at half back. We've just got Siobhan down at ground side there.
A quick injury update. Number 2 for Tasmania, Oliver Burrows. Cheng is getting his ankles strapped. He's been off the ground for a good 7 minutes.
All right, we have Oliver's back on deck. Without giving away all your trade secrets, what have you've come from, or you know, if not one of the most successful, one of the most successful organisations in the under-18 comp in Oakley Chargers. What have you taken from Oakley down to Tasmania?
Well, I actually wanted to bring Noah Anderson, Matthew Brown, Brent Bianco and Dylan Williams, but they wouldn't allow it to happen. I thought with the new side starting up, I could take 4 uncontracted players. They wouldn't come at that. But I think the big thing for us is just making sure one of the key things that we had at the Chargers, we just concentrate on the fundamentals of the game. I think, we weren't focused on the winning side of things. It's just making sure that the players are improving. I think if we're doing all the right things, they're improving those fundamentals, the winning stuff will take care of itself. So that's probably the key takeaway that we've, or I've sort of taken with it. But we don't want to copy them. We actually want to make our own brand. We'll take little bits and pieces. Fletcher's bought stuff that he's learned from a number of different situations. Darren Trevina's in the fold with us now, having spent a fair bit of time in South Australia in the NT and at AFL club level. So everyone, what we're doing is bringing a lot of different bits and pieces into the same pot to build a program we hope is sustainable for a long period of time.
And we've had another goal for the Tasmania Devils. Jai Menzies kicks his first. 2-1-13 to 3-8-26. And the Devils are in the game, Craig.
Yeah, I think just it was always going to be a little bit of. It'll take a little bit of time to settle. I think this is effectively our first proper hit out. In all honesty, we played internal trials. We had one external against one of the TSL sides in Tassie. It was a bit of a difficult one because we play against a side that plays your genuine, essentially your senior rules, no density and that type of thing. So you actually can't practice what we're going to be playing on a week out basis. So I think that's a thing. We just bide our time. The boys are starting to get a bit of a feel for it, and I think things are starting to take shape, which is good to see.
Give you the commentator's curse. Samuel Lewis Johnson, what's the story?
Straight through the middle. I'll back him in.
Nah, you've got the commentator's curse. Good work, Craig. always a spot at the table for you here.
Now, one player that's catching my eye just through his size and workload, Joseph Chaplin.
Yeah, Joey Chaplin, he's one of the boys from the Northwest Coast, so a Devonport boy.
They breed them tough there, don't they, Craig?
Oh, Northwest Coast, they'll tell you that they're very, very tough. So, but Joey, I've actually been impressed with Joey's efforts so far. Probably playing a role that he's a little bit unfamiliar with. We're a little bit light on with Ruckman at the moment due to some injuries and the like, but he's actually acquitted himself pretty well, taking some good grabs. He's very mobile. We'll see the best of Joey playing as a tall marking forward. So, as I said, doing a good job in something that's not a role that he would have played too often.
We'll have another intercept. No, that was good work by Goulden, who's had a good game so far and gets it down towards centre half forward out in the van. It is, they've got an opportunity here, but colliding bodies. Just saw the ball held up. And we were looking prior to the game for some beam poles. There's none out there.
No, we actually have got a real big beanpole, a young guy by the name of Hamish Allen, who'd be 205, 206, a boy that the guys have found in rowing. Unfortunately, a couple of weeks ago he hurt his knee, so he won't be back until after Easter. I think a young guy that probably not too dissimilar to Ned Reeves, who you guys would have seen through the Oakley program, that I think if we give him a couple of years down the track, that he will turn into my first impressions, it'll turn into a very, very handy type of player. So, looking forward to him coming back, and I've really liked what I've seen from him. Just unfortunate we didn't have him rolling out today.
Stevenson kicks that long. It goes out of bounds. It's only 20 seconds before half-time. But it's been the second half of this second quarter has been played mainly in Tasmania's forward half, which is good. Good for you.
I think it's been good just to see. I think at the quarter-time break, the inside 50 differential was well in the Swans' favour. So without having the stats here in front of me, it's I think it's a little bit pleasing just to see a little bit of a turnaround and being right back in the game.
So the inside 50s at half-time, where the score is 3-8-26. Sydney Swans Academy to Tasmania 2-3-15. Inside 50s 33-19 in the Swans' favour. Disposals have evened up a lot, 184 to 161. Tassie have got the rebound 50s 29 to 16. Tackles are 47 to 38. I was going to call him Charlie Chaplin. I don't know. Is that his nickname? And we're going down onto the ground.
I'm down on the ground with Nick Davis. It was a very dominant start from your boys. You had most of the play, but it was fairly inaccurate. What do you think would be the coach's message at halftime?
Oh yeah, look, our efforts through the midfield, we're able to get the ball inside our 50 a lot. Yeah, we're obviously very wasteful, so we wasted a few opportunities going forward, and then we let Tassie back in with a few goals there late. So look, Crouchy's message would be to just keep working the ball forward, making sure our forwards fight to keep it in our forward line a little bit longer, and then I'd try and finish with goals.
What players have particularly stood out to you in this game, and who are some of the players that our viewers can look out for?
Luke Parks, he started really strongly across half-back. He's been one of our key defenders back there. Errol Goulden through the midfield's been really good. And also Josh Rayner as a forward. Braden Campbell as a 17-year-old's probably been one of our good players as well. So, look, it's been a really good team effort out there, but like I said, we've wasted a few opportunities, so hopefully we can tidy that up at half-time and have a stronger second half.
And lastly, as it's your first game in the NAB League, have you prepared any differently than what you usually would another game?
Not really. Look, it's been a long sort of time waiting. We're able to see a bit of Tassie stuff. So look, it's been a long time, and the boys are obviously really excited to get out here and play. So it's good for them to be able to come and showcase their wares in front of everyone. And like I said, look, we're just a little bit wasteful, so we can tidy that up. We should have a strong second half.
Well, thank you so much for your time, and good luck for the rest of the game.
Good work, Siobhan, and that was Nick Davis. And good morning to all our Geelong supporters. You may remember Nick Davis from days gone by at a ground just close to the CBD of Sydney. Craig, thanks for spending the second quarter with us here on NAB League, and we look forward to seeing Tasmania's development throughout 2019.
Thanks for having me, guys. Terrific.
Welcome back to Blacktown International Sports Park. It is the first of the triple header. The Sydney Swans lead at 3-8-26 to Tasmania 2-3-15, with the Devils having the best of that second quarter. Coming up after this match, I think it kicks off at 11:55. We are going to have the Brisbane Lions taking on, as I just have a quick look, so many teams, the Giants. GWS Giants and the Brisbane Lions. And the third of the triple header will be the Gold Coast Suns taking on the Northern Territory. Rick, and we are joined by the godfather of under-18 football, Kevin Sheehan. How are you, Kev?
I'm terrific, and we're a bit lucky here today because there's been a lot of rain in Sydney overnight. There's even talk of the races might have been cancelled. So we're pretty lucky that we've got out here to Blacktown, and although it's quite slippery on the surface, we have seen a very competitive first half. But like many of the sporting grounds are shut down in inclement weather in Sydney, but this is one that is controlled by football and cricket out here at Blacktown, originally a training base for the Giants, of course. We're in a great little sporting precinct with the venue for the Olympic Games in softball, etc., just over the back of us. And this is a venue we've used a lot for under 16, under 18 footy in the last decade or so. So it's been a great resource for us. And to be able to get a triple header on in Sydney in inclement conditions is a bonus for us, because it's a long way to come not to play.
Yeah, isn't it ever? It felt a long way and throwing a few troubles at the airport yesterday just made it a big trip up. They did have the covers on the middle at the start of the game, and but the surface itself, it's like the 18th green at Augusta. There's no issues. It's perfect for football. And they've played a bit of. I've seen some JLT games here and. AFLW games being played here?
Yeah, it's part of that push, of course, out of the west of Sydney to try and win the hearts and minds of the next generation of players. And the Giants have done a fair bit of work out in this part of the world to try and convince boys and girls to take up the game, to follow the game initially, to play the game. And they use this venue as one of their academy training bases for some of the boys and girls that are now wanting to focus on AFL as a potential career. That's under Jason Saddington's direction. He's the academy coach. He'll coach the under-18 team at the top end today, but also oversees the satellite setup they have with their academy bases right through, I suppose, the southern part of New South Wales.
Well, I can tell you from first-hand evidence last week. I was at Giants Stadium last Sunday to see the Giants obliterate my Bombers, and the thing that struck me most was how many kids were in the crowd and decked out in the orange and charcoal. And they had a parade at half-time where all I'm assuming like the Auskick kids and all that, and there was hundreds of them running around the ground, and they were all enjoying their footy.
Yeah, which is generational, isn't it? We know that to really win over what has been rugby territory for over 100 years. We've just got to be persistent and giving people opportunity.
And patient.
Now there's two teams, two academies nowadays. How's the talent pool spread throughout New South Wales now with the GWS as well as the Sydney Swans?
Well, it's roughly divided in half, except for a little strip along the Murray, which is still sort of open draft territory.
Okay,
if you look along the Albury sort of Swan Hill, that sort of area there on the Murray, that's open draft, and you'll see the players play for the Murray Bushrangers that are from that area. But the rest of it's divided in half. Sydney mainly got the metropolitan area of it's the heart of Sydney. You'll see where these boys come from their clubs in the heart of Sydney, and then right up north of Sydney as well. And we've really enjoyed this half of footy. Just see the performance of a boy like Errol Golden, hasn't he been terrific? That little left footer on the wing, and a bottom age player. So we've had the pleasure of seeing this boy last year dominate under 16 footy, and then to continue on. Another boy, Campbell, hasn't been as dominant today, but that's Braden Campbell. But the left footer is all class. He's playing on the other wing. So to see those boys come through the New South Wales program, they're part of the Swans Academy as well, and now their first game on the national stage, I suppose, as bottom ages, they've been very impressive. But Golden, he's had it on a string and kicked a couple of goals to boot, so he's been very impressive. Jaron Crouch, of course, the coach, a terrific player for the Sydney Swans, and he'd be very pleased with the output and the endeavour of his players in that first half.
Third quarter action, take it away, Rick.
Now, no clear winner in the centre there. Just trying to work it out of the huddle, and Chaplin will boot it forward for Tassie. Punched away, here's danger. They've got numbers, good movement by Menzies, and he slams home his second. Great play by Chaplin to work it forward, follow up his ruck work, and Menzies, who wasn't scared to take on his approaching player, showed a touch of class there. And that is his second for the day, and that puts him within 5 points now.
I think that'll be a contender for the Open University's Plays of the Week, Rick, without any doubt whatsoever. Odds on.
Been impressive, this boy. Haven't seen a lot of him, but it's just a boy that's turning 17 this year, so bottom age, but smart up around the forward line in that first half, and that was a real classy finish.
Back in the middle they come. Trying to get it out of there. There was a holding, but the umpire said, no, play on. But this will be an intercept, and Sydney get numbers, get it down towards half forward. Good spoil. It's out into the open now. Maguire kicks to
kick.
the goal square. Just got the sit over the back, but couldn't quite control the ball. Now there's a shot on goal, and he'll bring it back beautifully.
Harrison Parker.
So Parker on the left has brought it back and kicked the goal. And that was a lovely, just almost inside that goal post, and a great answer. So 2 goals in the first 2 minutes of this third quarter. Sydney Swans 4-8-32 to Tasmania 3-3-21.
Well, it may open up in this half. Pretty tight first half, wasn't it? Goals hard to find, and then all of a sudden, as so often happens in footy, these boys in their first game of the NAB League, just finding their confidence, knowing what they can do now, and it might well just open up. And I think the conditions even a wee bit better too. There was some surface water in that first half. It probably affected, had a lot of double grabs at times because of that slippery ball.
Nice bounce by the umpire. Nash for Sydney. Gets the tap down. Tasmania should get the clearance. Tries to run onto it. Flick it out by hand. Ball in dispute. Luck's a fortune. Swans go forward through Watling. Could be just out over the boundary line, out of bounds. And to take the resultant free kick is Paddy Walker for the Devils. Right where the 50-metre arc. Decides to switch play. Goes backward to come forward. Needs to be precise. Precise he is. Collins. Inside defensive 50. Kicks to half back. Measured kick. Doesn't quite hit the target. Swans back in with a chance. Ball tried to be kicked off the carpet. In dispute. Spills out the back. Now McGuinness gets it across. And Chaplin has got it. True centre half back. Gets on his left boot. Nice kick. Looping handball over the top. That's taken by Green. He lets it off over to Godomski. Godomski goes long. It's skidding inside 50. Can they get it? Good work. Pepin goes one way, comes back the other. Handball's out wide. Callow kicks. All I can see is Swans up in the last line of defence, and they will switch play to the outer side.
Swans will deliver it wide, outer side. Nice pick up. Baxter gets it down towards half forward. This will be intercepted, and a nice take. On his own that time was Viney, and he'll shoot it wide. He's got support through Patrick Walker in the back pocket. Just not a lot of options here, so they'll have to switch it to the outer side again. And there's a mark in the back pocket. That'll be taken by Shaw, who'll deliver it further afield. Inside 50, McGuinness. Would expect him to give it to someone, and he does, and gets it back with the 1-2 and delivers it perfectly outer side. I'll play on straight away, the Devils, and pump it towards half forward. No clear winner. Out into space it goes. And Sydney getting numbers back through McKellar, who tries to burst through. The umpire lets him go. Understandably today. Now they've got a loose man who delivers it out in front. Good spoil. Defenders for the Swans in Campbell. Mopping up and shooting it to the outer side. Van Huisted gets it wide, out of bounds, just in front of the scoreboard. And we're about 55 out from the Tasmanian goal.
And it's probably worth pointing out, you may have already chatted about it, that of course the Tassie Devils are in for the full season of the NAB League, and the Swans are in for the 5 matches. But they're both equal on this particular point, because they're playing for an additional trophy which will be won over the next 5 weeks between the 6 teams that are your traditional sides from the Academy Series. So it's the 6 sides playing today. We'll have the 5 matches, 2 against opponents from the Academy Series and the other against 3 of the traditional Victorian sides. So 5 matches to decide on who wins the title as the best side in what will be the Division 2 of our Nationals. So 2 comps at once. So it adds another sort of edge to this for the Swans. They won the championship a couple of years ago. Tassie won the championship last year.
Who would go in as favourites amongst the 6?
Well, possibly Tassie before it all started, because of the quality of young player they've got coming through. You would have thought that, but very hard to judge, as of course you've got fresh players coming through every year. Maybe Tassie might have, but the Swans have been super today.
Ball goes forward. Good defensive punch. Not quite keeping his feet. Devils, quick kick, and it is out of bounds on the full. The relationship with the Sydney Swans to the Academy team, how does that flow down and work?
Oh, very, very directly. Jared Crouch, of course, appointed by the Sydney Swans. They sponsor and oversee the program. That have more than 1,000 youngsters involved in their program. So right down to their 10 and 11-year-olds that are just, I suppose, concentrating on the fundamentals of the game, right through every age level. It pushes right up to these boys being the peak of their program, with wonderful support from the Swans. So it's very much integrated. Nick Blakey, of course, who was in this series last year, now, of course, playing in their senior side. Callum Mills, Isaac Heaney have been some of the stars that have come through it and been their dominant player in the Swans Academy in their year.
And of course, so that flow of bloods culture that they speak, so that everyone recognises and respects, will flow through from this level going up.
Well, I think Jared Crouch lived and breathed
it was the epitome of it.
The way he played. There's no doubt that John Longmire's influence would be there in the way Jared coaches.
Out of side, they're 55 out from Sydney's goal. But, Tasmania through Clifford gets it across, and they work it towards half forward. Over the back, taken nicely by Geddes. He'll get it back, and he'll get it towards delivery to the wing. Tassie just able to hold the Swans up for a moment there. And support comes through Watling. And they'll pump it forward inside 50. They've got numbers, but here comes the big fella Gadomski, who loves to charge through the middle.
Oof.
They get it into the centre of the ground. Stevenson pops it over. They're still under pressure here, but a nice pick-up by Menzie. Skillful type. Gets it across. And Thorne handballs it further afield. Here they are. They're off and running here through Yulton, the Swans. Kicking it towards full forward. Oh, great body work. Play on. Didn't hold it long enough. And it's all tied up 20 metres out from the Sydney goal. Been a few near misses with the marks today, haven't they? They've all but held it. Several times. The umpire making them work for it. Good to see.
Swans all could have been collected high. No, says the umpire. Play on, play on. They're on the carpet. Stacks on the mill, and he'll come in and break this up. We are inside 50.
And wonderful to see Adrian Fletcher back coaching Tasmania, complete the full circle of Australia. This fellow was a footballer, wonderful player at many clubs, Geelong and Hilda, Freo, Brisbane. He's been everywhere, man, and of course been probably an assistant coach at AFL level for more like 15 years. Last year coached the Allies, a collective side out of this Division 2, coached the Allies, but now back into Tassie full-time to coach the Devils, which is terrific with his experience and knowledge of what's required to become a player at the highest level.
The player there, McGuinness, who's had plenty of it there, Kevin. What's your thoughts on Matt McGuinness?
Yeah, he's one of the 19-year-olds that we've seen over the last number of years play for Tassie, and still improving. Lightly built boy, can play back, forward, even play on a wing. It played well today, giving him some good rebound from half-back. Sam Collins I've liked too, a 17-year-old. Was their MVP at under 16 level last year. Just so composed, terrific set of hands, great user of the footy too. Great kick, set her up at the play from down in the back half for the Tassie Devils.
Umpire deciding to ball it up here. 45 out. Sydney doing most of the attacking this quarter. 11-point margin in their favour. Ball flipped out the back, but there was a leg, and this is Mitch O'Neill.
Yeah, one of the highly credentialed players, and probably the most highly credentialed player in the game, actually, an All-Australian from last year, where he played on the wing for the Allies, dominant player. He's had company today. He's not been given a lot of space, and that's the way it goes. They'll identify the very good players and ensure they have a direct opponent. But he's working hard for his side, Mitch O'Neill, the number 1.
Thorne goes inboard, and it'll be cleared by the Devils.
It's Collins
underneath us here, and nice mark to Hart. Collins with a nice pass, but an intercept now by Nash. And we've got another intercept, just turned around at the right minute there, and it's back in Harper's hands.
Harper on half-back, kicks to centre wing, right in front of us here in the comm box. Swans everywhere. This is taken by Tommy Tyson on his left boot, spots up a man, drops what probably should have been taken. Strong tackle by Oliver Burrows Cheng, and the ball will be tossed up. Sun out here at Blacktown.
End of the rain, boys. I've had a look at the weather map. I think it's all gone. This is going to be a terrific day of footy now as the ground dries out.
O'Neill getting a bit of space.
That's class.
Yeah. Beautiful kick. Banks Smith. Ryan could tackle down from behind. Might have been a bit stiff there. Swans across centre half back. This way, that way. Smother. Pepin gets it. Might have been driven into the dirt. No free kick. Play on. He is gang tackled there by Nick Brewer.
What a beautiful kick by Mitch O'Neill then, the lad we were talking about before. Now, is he in a similar position to Taron Thomas with the North Melbourne?
No, North have access to the Indigenous players out of Tassie.
Okay,
yes. But Mitch should be in the open draft and one of their leading prospects, of course. So one of the sideshows to today, of course, it's start of the preparation, or the next stage of the preparation of the Allies for this year. Luke Power is the coach of the Allies. He's here at the game today, and so his group of selectors will meet at the end of this 5-match series and pick a squad of around 50 that'll then have trials and form the basis of that side that'll go into Division 1, play the Vics, Vic Metro, Vic Country, SAWA. So you'd expect that some of the boys you're talking about, the O'Neills, the Collinses, those sorts of boys, Golden, even as a bottom ager, would bob up in the Allies.
Godomski led the charge. He's caught. That may be holding the ball. No. Godomski lays a little bit of hip and shoulder as well.
Just that fumble at a crucial stage there where they were out and running there, Tasmania.
I like Godomski.
He charges through, doesn't he?
He's solid, solid half-back flanker.
Yeah, he's another boy. A bit, I suppose, unlucky not to be picked up as a rookie, in my view, last year as an 18-year-old. So he's back, as players can come back into this series as a 19-year-old. Today, the clubs can play up to 5 who are 19 years of age. Yep. By the time we push through to the Allies, just 3 can play per game. So they will play a combination of under-18 footy, the 19-year-olds, and in the case of the Swans boys, they'll play in the NEAFL, the North East AFL, and the Tassie boys will play in the statewide league over in Tassie, as well as some games at this level.
Swanee kicks it forward for Sydney. Comes off hands and free. That's a legitimate kick, and the Swans have marked this. This is Jackson Barling.
His father Tim played
Tim
at Richmond, I reckon. Yes, he was. Very tall guy. Come up here to Sydney to play. It's a generation ago, isn't it? You know,
it is.
20-odd years ago, and his boy Jackson has been a very good player for the Swans Academy in recent years. Lead up forward, he can even push up into the midfield. And he normally kicks straight.
You got the commentator's curse, Kev.
Well,
That's
I didn't say it before he kicked. I would have said he's a certainty from there. We've seen him be a regular goal kicker at underage level for both New South Wales ACT and the Swans.
Collins to play back. Play on from full back. Over the back it goes. Spoil lands in Chaplin's hands, who delivers it. Now they'll have to put on the burners, and that was good work by Pepin. But an intercept mark at half-back where they've been strong today, Sydney. And they'll deliver it out wide. Godomski just charges through. Gives off the handball. This is dangerous. And Pepin was caught there. They allowed it to play on, and they've got numbers. They've got the run. Just working it through, but eventually it'll be stolen by the Swans to a one-on-one at centre wing. Over the back it goes. 2 against 2. And a kick around the corner by Walker. And, great commitment there by McCullough. He played on straight away, ran into trouble, and there was a hold. Didn't take clean possession. And the umpire was right onto that one. And they'll get it off to the good foot in Campbell, who boot it towards full forward over the back. They'll just keep it in and eventually over the line.
You're looking for weapons with individual players, aren't you? Who has got something fairly special? Campbell's left foot is special, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is a weapon.
Bomb, isn't it?
He's a magnificent kick of the footy.
We've got Sam Green on half-back for Tasmania in the beautiful Blacktown sunshine. Kicks to centre wing. Swans at the back.
There it is.
Campbell spots up a man. Now Golden kicks to the heart of 50. The big men fly. Devils everywhere here. A little bit of chit-chat. Got plenty in defensive 50, and it's kicked out wide by Pat Walker. Can he find his teammate in right off? Not quite. Swans kick it back in. Bouncing footy. Just rushes it over. Another behind.
Love the second effort of Collins on that occasion down there. So the ball contested in the air, hit the deck. He's the first back onto it. Got the ball away. It's been
Not the
impressive.
day for bullet passes, is it? And it's turned into a goal here. And a nice take and finished by Thorne. He's been impressive, Sam Thorne. And it's another one to Sydney. They move on to 5-11-41 to Tasmania 3-3-21, doing most of the attacking. And their skillful players are really starting to shine for the Swans Academy.
Got a real team ethos that we can see from here. They play for each other. Jared Crouch, no doubt, has instilled that in the group, but very unselfish, prepared to centre the ball. Eyes looking inside all the time for someone in a better position inside 50. That has stood out today, and their harassment and pressure they've put on Tassie has also been impressive.
They lead it by 20 points. 41 plays 21. We're 18.5 minutes into this third quarter. In the first of the triple headers, the Devils get it out of the centre. They kick long, but Sydney dropped what he should have taken. Taps it out wide. Now it's Brewer. They're trying to spit the ball out. Caught underneath. They're working it. Plenty of Devils jumpers there. Kick smothered. McGuinness evades. Gets on the non-preferred. Looks for O'Neill. Comes back towards Davis of Tasmania. Can't quite make it to Pepin. He loses it. We're right on the 50-metre arc. Quick handball. Collard could have been high. Now there's some open territory. They're off to the races. Long kick inside 50 at the back and right on his chest. Callum Nash has marked this. He will be 15 metres out on the slightest of angles, and that will be an Open University's Player of the Day contender.
Really well read there by Harrison Parker to thump that ball off.
Now Nash comes in, makes it work, makes the goal umpire work, but he's got it through. And that's another goal to the Sydney Swans Academy. They will move on to 6-11-47 to Tasmania 3-3-21.
And for those playing at home, Kev, the new app, how good is the app?
Unbelievable. I think you'll see every club here today not only watching the game live but with their app. We noticed that it's about a 20-second delay, so they can actually watch the game live and then switch to have a look, eyes down, to have another look at what might have occurred. It's a brilliant resource for the scouting, but also wonderful for family, friends, and even the fans of all the clubs that are looking for the next star. The Swans fans that are looking for the next Isaac Heaney, Callum Mills. Have a hard look. Sometimes they're obvious, but sometimes they're hard to see. Yeah, so there's...
so they can watch this with us and see with their own eyes, and they can back up with the evidence on the app.
Exactly.
NAB League AMP app. You can download that from your iTunes store or Google Play.
Taken by Barling to the outer side, but we've got an intercept there to Green. Green for Tasmania. We'll boot it long. Bit of an up and under towards the 50 mark. Spoiled over the back. Sydney defence standing strong through Brewer. He'll go wide and they'll take the mark. Outer side through Dole. That was turned over pretty easily and they'll be able to do something with this. And nice take by Clifford to work it inboard. Didn't quite use it as well as needed, but we've got a kick towards the forward pocket and they'll just let it go over, and this will be a time for Tasmania to settle and see if they can make something of this in front of goal. We're about 15 metres out from the Tasmanian goal. Umpires nowadays come in a long way to throw the ball in. So we've got Big Gaydon on his own at the minute, grabs it, gets it off, but we've got a little kick by Menzie. Didn't travel the required journey. They're trying to work it out of there, the Swans. Now they'll get a clear kick out towards the boundary and it'll go out of bounds. 60 out.
New rules this year, Kev, how do you think that'll affect our competition?
Well, it's terrific that that's adapted here as well. You've got a couple of rules here. You've got the anti-density rule occurring where you must have at every stoppage at least 5 over halfway. You see that occurring now for both teams.
Yep.
And of course you start with a 6, 6 and 6 as well at every centre bounce. Terrific. It opens the game up a bit, allows the talent to shine.
Ball kick long. Oh, can't get the second bite of the cherry. They're front and square, the Swannies.
Well done,
with Sheetha. But good defence. Collins gets it out wide. Just needs a kind bounce, and he got it. Scrubby kick on the left boot, looking for Pep.
Grab.
Can't quite get it. And the Swans have marked it on the defensive side of the wing. They go to half forward, comes off hands. Again, they go forward through right off. Goes into the middle, 2 bites of the cherry, and the mark is taken by Tyler McGuinness for Tasmania. They kick inside 50 and they've got a mark. Ryan Banks-Smith. He'll be kicking from just outside 50, 30-degree angle.
Tyler McGuinness, 190 centimetres, gone in the last couple of ruck ball ups and has won the knockout and pretty mobile around the ground. So one of the shorter ruckmen in the competition, just relieving at the minute. And now Sydney work it towards the boundary side, and that ball fisted away that time by Collins. Out of bounds it goes.
Of course, Rick, our live coverage, got to say thanks to the NAB, our naming rights and principal partner, Open Universities, our education partner, Telstra, who is our digital partner, Puma, the apparel partner, Rookie Me, testing partner, of course, the bar counter, the nutrition partner. And I could go a bar counter bar right now, Rick. I'm pretty hungry.
For sure there.
Good, you keep boys today. We've got 3 matches.
We're going lean.
All good.
It's over the back and Collins to clear again. He's been terrific down there today. And over to McGuinness, who has got that lovely left foot. And he works it inside. Good play, Tasmania. Get numbers across. And they'll be able to clear through Walker down towards half forward. They get back and help out. That's good to see through Harper. And they go inboard to the man we mentioned before, Tyler McGuinness. who's at half forward. Might be a testing kick today. And especially after the siren, Tyler McGuinness. Fair to say this would help a hell of a lot at three-quarter time. So he's coming in, he's going to kick from 52 metres out, and he gets under it a bit, and they should be able to kill it, and that they do. So that is three-quarter time here at Blacktown International Stadium. 6:11:47 the Sydney Swans Academy, the Tasmanian Devils 3-3-21. So they've snuck out to a nice little 26-point lead after Tasmania made a fair bit of the play in that second quarter to get back that margin.
And of course they've had no answer to Errol Golden. He's had 30 disposals and kicked a couple of goals playing through midfield to three-quarter time. We might point that out. You can get your live stats. You're watching the vision, no doubt, because you're hearing us, but you can scroll down and get your live stats for the first time of all these NAB League games. You'll see that Golden's had it most on the ground, and McGuinness and Collins are the two that have had it most for Tassie, both with 20 disposals at this minute as we go to the three-quarter time break. There'll be some stern words again from Adrian Fletcher. We can hear him right across the ground as he tries to rev up his Tassie Devils and turn around this, well, I suppose a 4-goal behind at three-quarter time.
He could. As someone that's seen the under-18 competition from birth to now, how does it feel to see Sydney playing Tasmania, and we're live, people are watching this all around the country?
I reckon it's fantastic. A great step up for the comp. It's always been terrific for us to watch, the people like yourselves that have followed under-18 football for a number of years, but to see now a wider audience getting the chance. And people are busy. They've got other things to do. They can't travel up to Blacktown in the west of Sydney to look at this game, but they want to follow the youngster from their club that they thought was a special player. They can now follow him as he pursues his dreams of trying to make it into the top league. You can sit at home and watch it on your app. You can follow the stats. It's a wonderful innovation in the NAB League this year to give greater exposure to the brilliant talent we've got across the country.
Down on the ground, Siobhan.
I'm here with Chris Smith, the Sydney Swans Academy Manager. For the viewers at home, can you tell us what your role is within the Academy and the Academy's role within developing these players?
Yeah, so I manage the Academy, so everything from staff and facilities to filling up water bottles to making sure everyone's dressed and paid and knows where they're going, all that sort of stuff. So I've been doing that for a number of years now. The Swans Academy primarily develops boys from 11 through to 19 years of age, and today's part of the talent pathway, where they sort of nominating themselves for the draft, and all the recruiters are here. So today's a pretty important part of their pathway.
In a strong position going into the last quarter, what were the main takeaways from that quarter, and who has really impressed you throughout the game?
I think both sides have impressed me. They've been very hard at the ball, and I mean we've been a little bit unlucky with our shots on goal, but Tasmania just keep punching away and fighting. So I'm pretty happy with the way both teams have gone. I mean, from some individual performances, I thought our midfield, they've been, with Rayner and Barling and those sort of boys winning the football. Errol Goulden's been very good on the wing, as has Braden Campbell, but it's been a pretty even performance.
Was pressure one of the main focuses going into the game, because that's been very high today for the Sydney boys?
Yeah, very much so. Just with our group, they're sort of an even spread of talent, so we always sort of emphasise our ability to put pressure on and tackle and keep constant and up in their face. So they seem to be executing that today, which is good.
Thank you for your time, Chris.
No worries at all. Thank you.
Three-quarter time here at Blacktown. It is the Swans leading 47-21. We'll take a break and be back on the other side of this for the final quarter.
getting out the back on us. And he's the one that can run and carry. Danny, you're gonna play him. Rocky, you're gonna play him. You're gonna beat him. Alright? Just make sure our wingers cover behind congestion. Bring it in, bring it in. Boys. Bust and guts and put your head over the ball. But who knows what can happen if you have a crack at it. You're going to have a crack at it, alright? Come on, let's go! Let's go in. Finish strong, boys, finish strong.
Same person.
Yep.
Last quarter action here. It is the Swans by 26 points. Take it away, Rick.
All up in the middle, and Chaplin gets it down. Now Godomski's been thrown into the centre bounce to give him a bit of grunt around the ball, and Tasmania come away with it straight away down towards full forward. And a great mark out the back. And the big arms of Callow have been waiting for that today. And Jackson Callow takes the big grab. Bottom year player.
Bottom year player.
And he likes a big grab, Crooksy, so we're just probably conditions in the first half didn't suit Jackson. But you can see there that he can take a grab.
He eats his apples down there in Tasmania, this fella. He'll grow. He'll
193 and 94 kilos.
So he's kicking from 40 metres out on an angle. Comes through, kicks through the footy, and they like it. Good goal, good start to the last quarter by Tasmania. And that moves them closer, 6-11-47 to 4-3-27. A 20-point margin to the Sydney Academy.
Hails from North Launceston.
Is it Launceston or Launceston?
Launceston, Matt.
Launceston.
Yep,
okay,
the locals like it.
Typical western suburb English from me.
Good start to the last quarter for the Tasmania Devils. Thanks to Kevin Sheehan, talent ambassador for the AFL, and he's synonymous with the under-18s and future stars. Up they go. Chaplin gets the tap down. Swans get the clearance through Rayner. Rayner kicks to a vacant half forward. Looking to run onto it. Spits the handball out back to go forward. They've got numbers. They concede a little bit of ground. Tasmania working well. Good pressure. Force the turnover. Now it's a kick inside 50. 1-on-1. And there is a free kick going to Sydney or Tasmania? I think it's going to Tassie. There you go.
Didn't look much in that.
We'll just pick this up.
Jai Menzie.
Jai Menzie.
Lining up for goal number 3.
Jai Menzie. And we mentioned he is a North Hobart boy. Jai Menzie. He is on a 40-degree angle. He kicks from 48, just gets under it, won't quite make the distance, comes off hands. Good defensive punch through for a behind. 4-4-28 plays 6-11-47. The Swannies to bring the ball back in. And bang, good cannon on the left boot there. Kicks out wide, claiming the mark. Not paid, says the umpire. Tasmania. Applying the pressure, trying to turn it over again. Swans, cool. Can't find the handle of the footy. Stacks on the mill. Umpire will come in and ball it up.
With the new rules, I haven't noticed a lot in actual general play, but the one rule that confuses me is the kick out from full back, where you can just play on anywhere.
And how far can they run?
They may as well have gone with the bigger square. It's pretty much the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Interesting. Tassie will drive it forward again towards full forward. And here's a shot on goal. A little dribbler going all the way. Oh, just took a right turn and through for behind. Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? You just see him take off. We're just used to the kick out, I suppose, from the square. And Tassie will go inboard and take the mark. And it's the boy in Harper.
We always come away from every game just a player we haven't seen before. Obviously, we won't have seen too many today. But Matt McGuinness, for me, is the one that I'm liking the look of.
And, of course, the Sydney boy in Goulden.
Goulden, yeah.
Who's a bottom major. Looking forward to seeing him next year.
Get a lovely view of this. The cameras are right behind it. We're right behind it. Stuttering, Josh Kennedy type run up. Gives it a fair old go. Straight through the middle over the umpire's hat. Tassie, 5-5-35. They trail by 12 points, 6-11-47. The Sydney Swans, they're coming back, Tasmania. You'd think there's a howling wind down to the right of screen, but it's not the case.
There's not, but there might be a little bit of light drizzle just falling out there. If my eyes aren't deceiving me, we might go down to Siobhan shortly. But just an interesting day weather-wise here at Blacktown International Sports Park. You mentioned Goulden. He's kicked the 2 goals. 31 touches he's up to now, and Matty McGuinness has 21 touches for the game.
Back in the middle, Chaplin doing well in the ruck, gets it down, and they'll work it out of there through O'Neill. Down towards full forward, just goes over the back. They let it go. Tassie with numbers. Sydney to get back and repel, momentarily at least. Towards half-back, kicked back inboard, and player just elected to leave it. And Sydney should clear again. Just underneath the commentary here at centre wing. A one-on-one, good body work. And a little kick over the back through Yilton. Gets it across. He's got some run through Thorne. They'll kick it towards full forward. And, just dragged down there. The umpire let it go. This all dangerous. And a fresh air shot right on the goal line. So forced through for a behind. Sydney 49, Tasmania 35.
Desperation stakes on the goal line, Rick. Tasmania bring the ball out. Mark of the day, Kyle McKellar. Great pack mark. He's got a man loose at half forward. This is Braden Campbell. He's got a deadly left foot, and it is just across the face behind. Could be a handy point.
Had he finished that, there would have been an Open University's Plays of the Week contender.
Without any doubts. 49 plays 35. Tassie to bring the ball back in. Mitch O'Neill inside defensive 50. Looks up. Goes to centre wing. Jake Steele. Good mark. On half back. He'll kick to centre wing. Bit of a contest. Swans at the back. By hand. This is tenacious Tommy Tyson. Couldn't get it. Interception. Chaplin goes into the middle. Not high percentage. They get away with it. Now they're caught. Dispossessed. That'll be holding the ball. Swans to be driven forward here by Tommy Baxter. Again, they've got a man loose. It's Campbell. He lets set sail for home, and this side, it's the other side. Another behind. The goal-kicking coach will have some extra work to do this week. 6-14-50, 5-5-35.
Tasmania on the outer side. They've got some run and carry through Banksmith. He gets tackled. There was a fumble at a crucial stage that allowed Baker in. Now Godomski gives it off. A hurried kick towards centre wing. Good spoil. In the van is Martin. They push it forward, but taken away by Baker, and it'll be killed off on the outer side. Tasmania attacking at half forward.
Swans Academy still dominating the inside 50s, 51 to 38. Marks, though, going the other way, 64 to the Tassie Devils, 47 the way of the Swans Academy.
Tasmania take it off the pack. They need a mark. It bounces over the back. Or they keep the ball in too. Pick up, flick it off. Now they're under pressure. Ball brought to ground. Swans have got numbers and the football. Quick hands. He dishes it up. Now they get a snap on goal. Can't take it. Swans want a clearing kick. But it's going to Matty McGuinness. He's under pressure. Ball bounces. Now it's Burrows Cheng. He hugs the boundary. Mark off hands. Out on the full. Good call by the boundary umpire. Bit of collateral damage down there on the boundary line in front of the I Love Blacktown. Plenty of encouragement from the goal line, from the boundary. McGuinness gets caught under it again. Chaplin slips. McGuinness, quick hands. Now they're a chance. This is Davis. He's driven into the dirt. He's caught overneath it. He's going to get, holding ball up, says the umpire. And it'll be thrown up on the 50-metre line, Rick.
They quickly get the ball in the air. And Thorne, that was a little handoff, and the umpire was right there, and good decision there. Ball was called a throw. So you'd expect this kick to go around the top of the square.
Yeah, little Pepin's just come on the ground. He's going to be a little sneaky on the side here. He's on his own. No, he's going to ignore him.
With Davis, he goes to the top of the square, and they bring it to ground.
Oh, too high.
High kick. Oh, kick out of
Got
there.
it.
Out of
They're claiming it.
Out of nowhere.
Will Harper.
And Harper kicks his second.
Second this quarter.
There wasn't much room to work with there, and he just got the little toe on it. And the result was a goal. Now let's straighten up this scoreboard. 6:14.50 plays 6:5.41. So Tassie back in the game.
There is
about 14 minutes left on the clock too, so that's a crucial goal for the Devils.
We're back in the middle, and just while we've been concentrating on the future stars of the game, this match has developed into a bit of a beauty. Just waiting for the no density rule to come into play.
Yeah, Callum Nash a little late there, coming off the bench into the forward or defensive 50 for the Swans.
Chaplin been very good in the ruck. Swans clear. They kick to half forward. The big men fly. It's all the Devils. Out to McGuinness. McGuinness on the non-preferred. Beautiful kick to Harper. Oh, he finally took control of the footy. He kicks to full forward. Lovely defensive punch towards the boundary line, and he's happy to see it over. Don't know if I'd tempt the umpires with that kind of decision. But he got it. He got away with it, and the ball will be thrown in right behind the behind post.
Excellent spoil by Dole then. So they're only about 20 metres out from Tasmania's goal. This could be an important play.
Whoop.
Drops short, lands in the hands of the Swans, but couldn't get away with it. And we've got a ball up 15 metres out from goal.
Not the first time the ruckmen have misjudged the throw-in today.
They quickly throw it up. And a kick out of there. It'll favour the Sydney Swans. And they'll boot it long. Good spoil, out of bounds it goes. So they held up that attack well, the Sydney Swans Academy. And now we're at grandstand side, centre wing. Crowd hotting up now. Remember, there's a triple header, and this is the last quarter of game one. 11 minutes 48 seconds left in the quarter. 9-point margin to Sydney. Gang tackling going on, so we'll have a ball up. The umpire quick to get it up. Chaplin with the tap over. Pepin gets the kick down towards centre half forward.
Oh, here we go.
Back. It opens up for Menzies. He gets onto his left but gets tackled well. It's in the pocket. It's in the hands of Lewis Johnson. He goes towards the centre half forward area. Oh, the Swans mop up beautifully, and it ends up with Goulden, who delivers it out to Watling. Watling at centre wing. He'll go wide and long. Oh, well judged. That was beautifully done. Out of side. And they'll take it to Chaplin. He'll go very, very wide. It just has to reach his man in steel. He does well in the end to pop it over towards centre wing. Underneath us is Stevenson. Stevenson to centre half forward for Tasmania. Oh! The juggling attempt didn't come off. O'Neill caught one, but play-on's a call. Kick out of trouble that time. Davis gets it forward. Down towards the boundary and out of bounds, 20 metres out from the Tassie goal.
Great desperation from both sides in the last 5 minutes. Game on the line. Tassie trying to attack. Swans showing great composure with the footy in that last play down the outer side.
Callow and Nash. Callow gets the tap. O'Neill applies the tackle. Swans are going to get the clearing kick from defensive 50. They kick out wide and the mark is taken. Big slamming Sammy Gaydon. He's between half-back and centre wing. The big fella thumps it forward. The big men fly. Defensive punch. Tassie trying to get the run. It's all Swans. Oh, they handball into a dangerous area. They should have the numbers. He'll kick it off the carpet. Oh, close to in the back. Yep, good call by the umpire. And it is Burrows Cheng who takes it. His kick's got a bit on it. And nice intercept mark taken there by Casalini. Casalini directs a bit of traffic, gets onto the left boot. He kicks it out wide. Galloping towards the ball was Nash. His handball smothered. Good work by Tasmania. Pepin can't. They're in underneath. They work it backwards. Ends up with Davis for the Devils. And it is over the boundary line, out of bounds. Swans to take the resultant free kick in Noah Casalini.
Great final term of footy.
Good footy at the minute, and Casalini goes backwards, but nails it. He's got Maguire with the footy. He gives it across to his teammate in Martin. They go right back to full back through Geddes. Geddes will pop it over to the middle, but there's an intercept that was beautifully read by Baker. He didn't have a lot of options up forward, so they went back to Pepin, and we're back in the middle of the ground. Tasmania just holding up play. Banks Smith goes long. Up to full forward. Not quite a grab. Good tackle. Just holds up the Swans repelling that attack. But they get it again, Sydney. And they should be able to clear. Nice take out in front that time by Baxter. Gives it across. And now they'll hold it up at half forward. Harry Maguire pops it over to centre half forward. Courageous effort that time by Chaplin to pop in front of the moving forward. Baker went without it. Sydney with numbers. Kick it forward. Down towards full forward. They've got an opportunity here, and Sheether puts it through.
He's kicked that back to Rosehill Gardens, Rick. He's really given that a good kick over the net at the back there. And 7:14.56 gives the Swans some breathing space. Tasmania 6:5.41. I think there's been two marking contests for Tasmania at the other end of the ground, where just a little bit of lack of talk, bit of excitement, want to take the big mark to kick the big goal, and they've all knocked into each other, and it is just spilt the wrong way. And they had two really good opportunities, and this is the way in footy. You don't get too many second chances, and bang, Sydney take it down and get that sort of, You would think with 6.5 minutes to go that 3 goals, 2.5 goals in front might be enough for them.
Yeah, summed it up beautifully, Crooksy. They've had their opportunities, Tassie, in this last quarter. Just haven't been able to capitalise. Sydney, on the other hand, have.
We'll have a secondary ball up, middle of the ground. We'll see if Tasmania can make a little play here. They're out to a 15-point margin here, the Sydney Swans Academy. But we're back in the middle, trying to keep it alive, Tassie, and that they do, and they kick it down towards half forward. Good spoil, brings it to ground. There's that man, Callow, just trying to kick it along, and I think he might have already been out. And we're right on the axis of that 50. So we'll have a ball in. Tasmania on the attack. Ball falls short again. Sydney should be able to clear through Thorne. And they'll work it towards centre wing, and a great intercept that time by Sam Collins. They'll go through the middle of the ground. Burrows Cheng's kick smothered, but he follows up. And a little dinky kick towards half forward. Just allowed the Swans in for a moment, but it's over the top and taken by McGuinness. They'll work it out again. And this will be a collision coming up. It's great work by both players there. And we'll have a ball up at centre wing, outer side.
Once again, we do need to thank our NAB League partners supporting us across this season. NAB, the naming rights and principal partner. Open Universities Australia, the education partner. Telstra, our digital partner. Puma, our apparel partner. Rookie Me, looking after all of the testing. And the Bar Counter, supporting us as our nutrition partner as Tassie go into attack, Crooksy.
Mark taken, ball's going to fall short, and the Swans take a Rocker Gibraltar type defensive mark deep in the heart of defensive 50. Kicks out wide to centre wing, grandstand side. The big men fly. Good pair of hands. Kyle McKellar. He's taken a few good marks today. Strong marks. He goes in short and has Braden Campbell. The left foot up. Wants to go back, wants to go forward. Gives us a barrel. Good on you, Braden. You'll be a favourite of mine. Keep doing that. Ball gets spat out the back. They're under the pump, the Devils. Gets it dragged back in underneath him, but the umpire's having none of that, and he'll ball it up half forward flank. 3.5 minutes left in this game. Ball comes out. That'll be out of bounds on the full, and Matty McGuinness to take the resultant free kick on half back.
McGuinness on the left. Just needs to open up play a bit, and he spears the pass. It's good work over to Banks Smith, who goes through the middle. They do use it well when they get their players running, Tasmania, and they get it inside 50, bring it to ground. Great tackling, just didn't allow it out, and I've liked his game also, Max Geddes. Been really good in defence. They'll quickly throw it up and get it down towards centre half forward. Little toe poke further afield. Juggling mark just travels the required distance. And the man who likes a goal in Jai Menzie, you'd nearly back him in from 35 out. Been a difficult day for kicking for goal. He read it well.
Been lively up forward too. Jai Menzie
comes in from 35 out, and he kicks it just to the right and took the post.
Yep.
So that was probably their last opportunity, that attempt. And Sydney to play on at full back, and Parks takes the mark in the back pocket.
What do we take out of today's games, guys? Seeing Sydney and Tassie for the first time?
I'm delighted at the standard of the footy for a start. Wasn't quite sure what we were going to get and the depth of talent, but obviously, you know, this is the pointy end, the academy end. I understand that, but
Yep, I think the talent, given the conditions that we started the match in and the rain that we had, it obviously was, I could tell it was falling from the middle of the night and it was pretty heavy and the ground was pretty sloppy. The ground's dried out pretty well. It's a bit scuffed and marked, you can see. But I think that the skills have just got better as the game's got on. And there's a few we're just going to, as like at any start of any under-18 season, there's players you mentally mark in your head and you want to see them develop as they go through the year. And that boy, Matty McGuinness, is one that I've put in my little black book if I was to pick one. Ball on centre wing. Swans kick it forward, but it's over the boundary line and out of bounds. Tasmania. And my man McGuinness,
Speak of the devil,
has to fetch his own footy. That'd be a nice place. There's a couple of people on the hill over there. That'd be a nice place to watch the footy from, wouldn't it? Just on the hill, grassy hill. As the ball goes forward, Swans gather. They kick to the middle. Settle it down, he says. This is Errol Goulden. He's seen plenty of the Sharon today. He goes in short, spots up Sam Thorne, play on. They get caught. Going to turn the balls in dispute. Punches out. Might have been a throw. It's a kick out of the pack. Punched out the back. Chasing after it will be Kyle Martin. Keeps it in. Now the Swans thump it forward through Joshua Rayner and McGuinness. It might have been a Falcon there. Comes off his coconut. He's out the back. He's got it again. This way, that way. Little handball. As the siren sounds, game one of the triple header is over. 7-14-56. Tasmania 6-6-42. Very entertaining first up game in the Under-18 Championships Division 2. First one.
Yep.
The full points to the Swans.
Featuring as part of the NAB League over the next 5 rounds. Have the interstate clubs participating, and of course Tasmania with us for the entire season, just having the bye in round 1. Their first hit out today. Not too disappointing for them. They fought well, especially in the second half. I felt it took them a while to get going, but there's some good positive signs, Rick, for the Tassie Devils going forward.
Yeah, there were some excellent players that stood out as well. Pepin, when he gets the footy, he's paid close attention today. But when he gets it, he looks the goods. Matty McGuinness was terrific all day across half back. Mitch O'Neill didn't get a lot of it, but when he did, he looked a class act. I liked Chaplin's game, and Sam Collins at half back was terrific. And Josh Clifford did a lot in that first half for the Sydney Academy. Liked the look of Thorne through the middle. Nice strong player. Parker was really good and crashed through and gave some good forward thrust. Geddes in defence. Golden was probably the best player on the ground today, and also some strong play all day through McKellar.
Golden finishing up with 36 touches, 24 kicks, 12 handballs, also took 6 marks and laid 3 tackles. Matty McGuinness was the leading possession getter on the ground for the Tassie Devils. 28 touches today, 20 kicks, 8 handballs. I like seeing that. Marks he took was 7 and about 2 tackles as well. Matty McGuinness there, the number 7 for the Tassie Devils.
As we just wait for a post-match interview, of course, following here, it'll be the Brisbane Lions and the GWS Giants Academy, Brisbane Lions Academy. So the talent rolls on, as we say. And conditions have really brightened up here. And just a
little bit of blue sky over in the background too. And there's also, we've got the Gold Coast Suns and Northern Territory Academies as our final game a little later this afternoon here at Blacktown, and all of those games will be streamed live through the NAB League app. As we head down to ground level, I believe Siobhan's picked out a player from the Sydney Swans.
I'm down on the ground now with Errol Golding. Congratulations on your first win in the NAB League. It got really tight at the end there. What were your overall thoughts on the game?
It was a pretty good game. We started really well. Probably didn't make the most of our opportunities early in front of goal, but yeah, really contested game because of the weather. But I thought we stuck in, and it was a really good team performance. So.
Your overall game today was fantastic, your personal game. What were your goals coming into this season, and can you talk us through your role today?
My goals, honestly, just have fun, play my role in the team, just do whatever the coaches tell me to do, best of my ability. And so what was the last part of your question?
And what was your role in the team today?
I was mostly out on the wing, a little bit in the midfield, and just trying to use my foot skills. Obviously the rain didn't help, but just try to get the ball forward.
And talk us through those conditions today. Was it really hard to play in?
Yeah, early on, it was really heavy rain on the way to the ground. Pretty wet around the ground still, but got a bit better as the day went on, but still really slippery. So, but apart from that, it was good.
Thank you for your time and congratulations.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Good work, Siobhan, as Errol goes into the team photo. Just marching his way there. He's getting the hurry on. Now he's into a full stride to get out there. That's the first of the triple header done and dusted. The Swans have got the chocolates, and we will take a break. And on the other side of this, it is going to be the Lions taking on the Giants here at Blacktown International Sports Park.